guys, Jay here, welcome to EonsOfBattle, and in this video I want to show you how I do some simple kit bashes to turn any boring intercessor into a super cool Black Templar. I do this to all my Black Templars, and I think it looks pretty great. So first you need some chain, and this can be tricky. It helps to see what you are buying, so I would suggest searching in the jewelry section of craft stores or dollar stores. What I am using is some 1.5mm chain I found from Green Stuff World. Black Templar chained their sword to themselves, so I put a drop of super glue on his wrist and carefully draped the chain right where I wanted it. I put the end on the bottom of his wrist so that you can't see where it starts. Then I wrapped the chain around his arm 2 times. Then I let the excess dangle and I cut it so that there was about an inch of extra chain. Then I started a pilot hole with my hobby knife in the bottom of the pommel of his sword. Then I used a hobby drill to make the hole big enough to accept the chain, but not as is. I used a pair of needle nose pliers to crush the last loop of my chain flat. This will let it slide into the hole I just drilled. I poured in a drop of super glue and carefully stuck the crimped chain into the hole and let it dry. Now I have a chain, but it's hanging loosey-goosey and we can't have that, so I poured super glue all over it. And I poked and prodded it until it was hanging just how I wanted. If there is way too much glue, you can either blow off the excess or use the compressed air from an airbrush. If there's too much glue allowed to dry, it can fill in the chain links and look bad. I also put chain around his waist. The chaining of weapons to the hand is a badge of honor, saying that he will never drop his weapons. The waist chain is more of a fashion statement. Don't I look cool, brothers? I did all the same stuff, wrapping and gluing as I went along his midsection. And now he's looking more interesting, but we're not done yet. And you know what else is not done yet? That's right, our Patreon. Over there we have a bunch of high quality grimdark terrain STLs. Hop over there to check them out. Is the best way to help support us making videos, and you also get access to hobby hangouts, exclusive weekly videos, behind the scenes, and other exclusive content. I like my Templar backpacks to have some decoration. I took some skulls from the Citadel Skulls box. These skulls with no bottom jaws will fit nicely. I cleaned up the skulls and smoothed the area on the backpack that I'll glue them down to. I cut off one of the little nubs, then I superglued the skull on, and then superglued on a second skull. I could have used plastic glue, but I didn't want to wait for it to fully dry. Now I want these skulls to look like they have been crudely nailed down, and for model scale nails, I'll be using these sewing straight pins. I started a pilot hole with my hobby knife and then drilled a hole through each skull into the backpack with a hobby drill the same diameter as my straight pins. Then I cut the pins to size and inserted them into the holes I just drilled. Once I had my nails inserted and they were at the height I wanted, I superglued them into place. I also like my Black Templar to be really battle damaged, so I started some pilot holes in random places on the armor, then finished these bullet craters and dents by giving these holes a few turns with a drill bit. Not drilling too deep, I just want a nice round hole. Now I stop there. Some people like to carve off the Aquila, as the Black Templar famously do not wear the symbol of the Emperor. They are his symbol. But I don't mind, as intercessors don't display the Imperial Aquila, but actually the Imperialis, so I don't think it breaks with the lore, and so I leave it alone.